Hello everyone, my name is Xiao ZhongYi. I'm here to make a presentation on my new study. The title is A Study on the Mono-No-Aware in Japanese Cinema from Lacan's Psychoanalysis. Here is my abstract. The film industry has evolved so far. Japanese cinema has gained worldwide recognition for its unique narrative mode and emotional flow. Japanese directors are good at discovering the stories of minor characters and unfolding the hidden flow of emotion through narratives. This unique mode of emotional narration in Japanese cinema originates from the special mono-no-aware aesthetics. In its cultural context, the term mono-no-aware is not a single reference to grief, but includes the perception of all emotions. Know the world, know things, understanding, and then mono-no-aware. Mono-no-aware summarizes the core of traditional Japanese culture and explains the causes of Japan's unique aesthetic culture. While traditional Eastern aesthetics concepts are often obscure and difficult to understand, the Lacanian psychoanalytic view attributes emotion to desire, which is regarded as the source of human motivation. Through Lacanian concepts such as desire and the real, seeks to explain the uniqueness of the mono-no-aware aesthetics. The purpose of this study is to interpret the expression of mono-no-aware aesthetics in Japanese cinema through the concept of Lacanian psychoanalysis, and to deconstruct the concept. Here is my first part, Introduction. Since the invention of cinema by Lumiere brothers, early cinema has been active in society as a documentary art. Later, George Méliès and others explored the artistic expression of cinema, although there are still others, such as André Bazin, who advocate the documentary nature of cinema. The artistic expression of cinema is still widely recognized in multiple schools of thought. In today's cinema, apart from commercial value, the most important thing that people pay attention to is artistic expression. One side of the country nurtures the people of another side. The history, culture, and environment of countries in different regions have had a profound impact on the development of cinema, resulting in diverse film styles and characteristics. For example, Hollywood commercial blockbusters and BBC quality documentaries are typical film genres nurtured in different cultural and geographical environments. As a unique region in the East Asia cultural circle, Japan's film works contain unique national cultural characteristics. Japanese cinema is good at displaying delicate emotional flow, and it stresses the blossoming and explosion of emotions in the moment. This mode of emotional expression means that it focuses on the lives, struggles, and emotions of ordinary people, not just epic stories or large-scale action scenes. It has also formed a unique style of picture expression and screenplay that has shaped Japanese cinema with the small stories of ordinary people at its core. Mono-no-aware was firstly proposed by the Japanese Edo period Asian Japanese cultural master Motori Norinaga when commenting on the Japanese classical masterpiece Genji Monogatari. It is mainly expressed in the content of the plot and the distinctive of expression. As the first proposer of the term mono-no-aware, he believed that the so-called spirit of material sadness means that among the various emotions of human beings, only bitterness, sorrow, and grief, that is to say, everything that is not as good as one would like to be, is what one feels the most profoundly of all. Mono-aware advocates the deepest emotional experience in the human heart. Its aesthetic expression uses silent narrative to bring about the flow of emotions, which eventually explodes under a specific opportunity, triggering the audience empathy. Lacanian psychoanalytic theory points to the logic of the functioning of the human unconscious. Its theory provides a deep insight into human desires. Lacan puts desire in an extremely important position, invoking Freud's theory. Lacan believed that the desire is the central source of human motivation and cannot be fully expressed. Desire produces a constant displacement in the process of linguistic communication and cannot be fully expressed. The remaining unexpressed part is defined by Lacan as the mark of lacking, the residue of desire, as known as object A. Mono-aware is not simply the aesthetics of sadness. It's not simply a sadness, but the deepest feelings of human, the most condensed emotions. The epidemic era has dealt a huge blow to the entertainment industry, and in the post-COVID era, many cultural industries are competing to find the audience understanding and recognition. Mono-aware, as a single theory, is very obscure, and there are cultural contextual differences with other countries. Lacanian psychoanalysis theory provides a new perspective for mono-aware by interpreting it through the logic of the operation of human consciousness. It assists the audience in understanding and identifying with the delicate emotional expression in Japanese films. The second part, mono-aware and Japanese cinema. In chapter 42 of Genji Monogatari, called Hidden, there is not a single word, only title, to express the hero's inner bleakness and sadness. However, according to the context of the text, it can be inferred that the chapter called Hidden hints at the death of the main character, so gorgeous, so splendid. The dance of the Prince of Light is so dizzying that he cries. It's an indirect expression of the death of the male protagonist, Hikari Genji. The birth of this chapter without words is the first appearance of the Japanese aesthetics of mono-aware. Mono-aware aesthetics is essentially an anti-Chinese aesthetics advocacy. Japan strongly advocates the development of Japanese characteristics of cultural context in the expression of the deliberate distinction with Chinese culture. In the Chinese cultural context, the term "scene which recalls the past memories" has a similar expression to mono-aware, but the semantic meanings is far from the same. The term "scene which recalls the past memories" emphasize what the subject thinks and sees, similar to Descartes' "I think, therefore I am" style of existence. Mono-aware aesthetics is the opposite. Mono-aware is a desubjective expression of emotion after incorporating the Japanese characteristic spirit of Bushido. Mono-aware aesthetics emphasizes the accumulation of emotions in the flow of a simple narrative, which ultimately explodes in the climax of the drama. Mono-aware and film narrative. Under the framework of the mono-aware aesthetics, films are often anti-dramatic. Mototori Norinaga put forward the concept of mono-aware, advocating that mono-aware is the feeling of understanding, the heart that knows things, that is to say, the emotion of being able to experience the good and evil, joy and anger in the world that moves the human heart. Under the concept of mono-aware, it is difficult for a film to adopt climatic narrative and a fastidious view of good and evil. Instead, The expression of emotion is maximally internalized, building up behind a bland service narrative. The classic Japanese monono-aware film constantly emphasizes the perception of the world and its characters. Characters build up in the mundane, everyday life until the moment when their emotions blossom. The monono-aware aesthetics can be considered as a cognitive attitude towards the material world. Mono is a substantial career of aware, including individual existence, natural, sensory, and even social and cultural development. Under its theory, emphasis is not only on the emotional connotation, freshness, which comes from the meticulous details of the screen. Under the framework of monono-aware aesthetics, it is not easy to accurately convey emotions to the audience. Roland Barthes' The Death of the Author and Sartre's Absolute Freedom of the Reader both conceptually dissolve the dominance of the filmmaker. On the basis of this theory, the classic monono-aware aesthetics film still conveys a delicate emotional expression to the audience. It is difficult to pinpoint the monono-aware in a large narrative space, as it's concerned with knowing the world, knowing things, and understanding the world. Most of the monono-aware aesthetics film use ordinary stories of small people, such as Love Letter and Weathering with You. This is a fine expression of monono-aware and an emotional law unique to Japanese cinema, which perceives every corner of the world from the viewpoint of a small person. Monono-aware and character function as an aesthetic theory to show the perception of things. Monono-aware aesthetics breaks the structure of human blood relationship in the film. Rather than refuting traditional family ethics, monono-aware films tend to show the paradox of affection that cannot be found in ordinary families through the connection of non-blood characters. For example, the film adaptation of Keigo Higashino's novel of the same name, Journey Under the Midnight Sun. The male and female protagonists are not related by blood. The female protagonist walks in the daytime and the male protagonist lurks in the night. The heroine witnesses purest humankind in the world of light, but in the end, she's still bent towards darkness. Throughout the film, the characters seldom have large emotional fluctuations and always wear a ceremonial smile on their face. Even at the end of the film, when emotion erupts, the female protagonist still lives with no expression on her face. The monono-aware aesthetics is not about repression. Under the film's deliberate surprise images, the audience still need to be able to feel the emotional flow behind the images. Character relationships play a key role. Blood ties are certainly a strong bond of character relationships. The missing relationship, however, can provide a layer of potential tragedy for the character first, which is easier for the audience to empathize with. During the decoding process, the audience will pay attention to the conflicts arising from the blood relationship, and it will be easier for them to take the position of the protagonist through the non-related protagonist placed in the family. The conflict in the family is shown in detail. In essence, the monono-aware aesthetics aims to show the flow and accumulation of emotions through the perception of things. Non-blood relationship is not a necessary condition in the theory. In order to present the monono-aware aesthetics, the director prefers to make use of such functional character relationships. It is not the film that defines the monono-aware aesthetics, but rather the monono-aware aesthetics that frames Japanese cinema. Here is my third part. Lacan's theory of desire. As a psychoanalyst who focuses on the study of the unconscious, Lacan has not touched much on the concept of conscious such as emotion. However, we can still find the theoretical framework for the representation of emotion and even monono-aware. In Lacan's theory, Lacan divides the human unconscious into three functional areas: the imaginary, the symbolic, and the real. The three realms laid the foundation of Lacan's subsequent theories, from which Lacan derived his concept of desire. Lacan believes that desire is an important part of the real, and the real, under his theory, is constituted by the framework of desire wrapped in the imprint of the absence of origin. In turn, Lacan's tragic discourse suggests the impossibility of desire being expressed. We are structured by the other and speak the language of the other, which produce a fundamental displacement. What is alienated in need constitutes a primordial expression because it cannot be expressed in its assumed form in the demand. It can, however, appear in some derivative which can be expressed to the human beings as desire. The essence of language, according to Lacan, is empathiness, and the expression itself has no meaning. The monono-aware ascetics, however, points to a more vague mode of expression of desire. According to Motori Norinaga, monono-aware ascetic is the subtle feeling of a person for people, things, and nature, which is distilled into monono-aware. What he means by sadness is not sadness, but a variety of emotions and a deep emotional experience of nature and the world of life and nature. This deep emotional experience has never been quantitatively defined. According to the fragmentary words of Mototori Norinaga, it is a subconscious, naturally occurring emotion. This description points directly to Lacan's concept of the real. Not all desires can be symbolized, but certain repressed, unarticulated desires in the real will flow out unconsciously. These outflowing desires are partly transformed into emotions. Under the guidance of the director, the delicate flow of emotions in the film monono-aware ascetics is detected. After accumulating to a certain extent, emotions lead to the direct outflow of desire in the real world, resulting in deep feelings, which is the monono-aware ascetics from the perspective of Lacan desire theory. The final part, conclusion. The monono-aware ascetics is a very metaphysical and abstract concept. Lacanian psychoanalysis, on the other hand, belongs to a more systematic and concrete theoretical framework that can rationally explain the parts that we cannot perceive and quantify. The monono-aware ascetics is not such a simple theory that can be systematically elaborated. The aim of this study is to analyze the working of the monono-aware ascetics through Lacanian psychoanalysis and its implications for the film industry. This study is still insufficient, and in the future, we will conduct a more in-depth contact between monono-aware ascetics and Lacanian psychoanalysis in an attempt to deconstruct the flow of unconscious in monono-aware ascetics. Here is my references, and this is all of my presentation. Thank you so much for your time and hearing.